So, here today, cold, rainy, wet. What are we going to do?
How are we going to get over our winter blues?
How are we going to get over the winter blues? Well, I've got a proposal, and that is, why don't we eat the winter blues?
And drink our winter reds.
Perfect. So I have picked some really awesome Mawson blue, and people often say that blue cheese is quite hard to match to. I tend to disagree. But what have you picked to match with the blue cheese?
So usually with blue, they go for a fortified, but we're going to go a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Right,
So,
a red today.
yeah, full-bodied.
Awesome. So when we match cheese and wine, I often match same or same different.
Yep.
But I have since learned there are far more professional words to use than that. So enlighten me.
Okay, so like
Yes.
is congruent.
Okay.
And then we have like different,
Yep.
which is complementary.
Okay, same, congruent, same, different, complementary.
Complementary.
So throughout all our cheese and wine matching,
Yes.
we're going to talk about congruent and complementary.
Okay, so we have tannins in a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
And we've got, you don't like this word, but the fats in the cheese. So,
I'd rather you say cream. Anyway,
Cream.
the cream in the cheese.
full body.
Yep.
Okay, so shall I pour?
Pour. You've just mentioned we've got tannins in the Cab Sav.
Yep.
We've got cream in the blue and pretty strong flavours in the blue.
Yep.
So is this same, congruent,
Yes.
or same, different, complementary?
So this is congruent because you've got the tannins, which is kind of a bitter taste. Do you like black tea?
No.
So when you have black tea without milk, you get this puckering sensation.
Yeah.
Which is very similar.
Okay, so that's why I always put milk in my tea.
And
because
sugar.
I don't want the pucker, and the fat rounds it out.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going to happen here.
So it's like it strips your mouth and then the cheese is going to...
Coat the mouth.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
See, oh, you're already an expert.
I am.
So by swirling the glass, I can say you're releasing the volatile compounds.
Volatile compounds.
Volatile compounds.
And what does that mean?
So it's a scientific way of saying you're going to get the best smell. Yeah. So when you're drinking a wine, 80% of your taste is actually through sense of smell.
Okay, so if you have a blocked nose, no taste of wine.
I wouldn't go doing a wine tasting
Yeah, right.
with a blocked nose. Or just pull out the cheat notes.
Yeah, okay, pull out the cheat notes
Yeah.
to say, if I'm smelling this, this is what I should be smelling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, when I've got a Cab Sav,
Yes.
and I'd not drunk it, and someone said to me, Sheree, guess the wine. What maybe top 3 things am I going to be smelling to know that it's Cab Sav?
So you're going to try and impress your guests.
Yeah.
So swirl it,
Smell it.
smell it. So with a Cabernet, you usually get more of these herbaceous notes. And this,
See, I get told herbaceous all the time, and I'm like, what, rosemary?
this is where I'm like a wine, bit of a snob in this sense.
But this is all about not being a wine snob.
Okay, so no, we're getting rid of the herbaceous. Think like capsicum.
Okay, capsicum.
Together? Bit
Yes.
tomatoey.
Yeah, okay.
So cooler the climate, you're going to get more of those notes. And as you go hotter,
Yep.
think more like blackberries, a bit like ribenery.
Okay, so Cab Sav,
Yep.
blind tasting. My friend says, what are we drinking? To trick me, and
Yep.
I smell it, and I go, capsicum, tomato, ribena, Cab Sav. Great.
Then you're an expert.
Okay, great. Let's drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. So tell me about the grape.
So Cabernet Sauvignon is a spontaneous crossbreed between Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc.
Ah,
So the red.
and the white.
Yes.
Wow. So spontaneous crossbreed.
Yes.
I'm thinking poodle, cross Labrador, Labradoodle, like that.
Let's call it that. Let's call it a Labradoodle.
That's cool.
Now explain to me about blue. Why is blue cheese blue?
Blue cheese is blue because we grow blue mould inside it. And I always find it quite amusing when I get asked to someone's house and I say, look, what can I bring? And I'll bring a cheese board because that's what they say, very original. And someone is devouring all the brie and
Yep.
then they say, oh, and they leave the blue and they say, oh no, I don't eat mould.
Yeah, people are scared of blue cheese.
Yeah, and I'm like, but I don't say anything. I let them have lots of brie first, and then I go, right. So, what's the brie? They're like, oh yeah, that's cheese. What's the thing on the outside? Oh, that's the rind. I'm like, What's the rind made of? And they don't know. And I have great delight in saying, mold. And so brie is white mold on the outside.
Okay.
Blue is blue mold on the inside. It's just that this looks moldy, whereas white mold cheese like brie and camembert don't. And so we get less scared.
Yeah.
But essentially it's on the inside because mold will only grow where there's oxygen. Okay. And so if you think about you leave some food scraps or leftover food in the fridge and you put the lid on, where does the mold grow? It doesn't grow in it grows on it because that's where the oxygen is. So for blue, we actually pierce it and we create all these oxygen tunnels. So if
What do you pierce it with?
Well, if you're at home making blue cheese, you'd get a knitting needle and like you'd ferociously attack it. But we're piercing with some hydraulic piercers.
Okay.
That creates oxygen. That's why the blue mold will first grow in there. But it's also there because we inoculate with blue mold, which is a very fancy way of pouring in some mold spores, essentially, like deliberately. Imagine a bit of bread all moldy and you shook it over it. That's inoculating.
But people are scared of mold. Why is this? It's edible.
I just think because it looks a bit scary. Yeah, I think so. But once you try it, and to be honest, when I first started having blue cheese, I was maybe mid-20s and I still was a little bit of unsure.
Yeah, definitely.
Your palate definitely changes and now it's a bit scoffable.
Scoffable. I like. Well, shall we scoff
let's
into
try.
it?
Yeah, let's try.
Well, what do you? Okay, I always ask this. It's a chicken or the egg kind of question.
Yeah.
Do you do wine or cheese first?
I'm not sure. I feel like I want to have the wine.
Yep.
And then I want to have the cheese.
Absolutely.
The
And
other,
then finish off with
yeah, and then you could always go wine again. The other thing I've learned is if you shut your mouth and breathe out your nose when you've got cheese in your mouth, you also get all these extra flavours.
Okay.
So there you go. So shall we do it?
Yeah.
So let's do the wine first. Now, actually, I am going to diverge. All that stickiness on that glass.
Yes.
I vaguely remember it being alcohol.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the legs.
Legs.
And you hear everybody, the real wine snobs of the world, and they're like, "Oh, it's a good set of legs."
Ah.
So legs indicate either it's the viscosity, so it's either high sugar or high alcohol
Does
content.
viscosity mean thickness?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thicker it is, the slower it's going to take to.
So you can see that this is going to be a higher in alcohol content.
Because
so what
it's
is
like,
this,
look at that.
15%.
Look at the stripes on it.
Absolutely.
15%.
Yeah, it's a good set of legs.
Wow. Okay. And if it was low alcohol, it'd be like water and it would just run straight down the glass.
Absolutely. So you're going to see that more with, your Sauvignon Blancs, the lighter white varietals.
And big reds.
Yeah, and big reds are going to have the heavier legs.
Okay, great. All right, well, let's try.
All right. So you got to get that mouthfeel.
And I've also picked some honeycomb.
Why have we done honey?
So I guess the way that we have done a congruent tasting today.
Congruent, yep.
So the match of, we went like for like. I think this is complementary.
Yes.
And it's to do with strength of flavour. So blue cheese is quite strong and salty.
Yeah.
Honeycomb is quite strong and sweet.
So kind of maple bacon concept.
Maple syrup and bacon.
Yep.
It's exactly that. Salt and sweet. So and honeycomb in particular is a beautiful chewiness that adds a great textural component as well to having just eaten that. I am loving the harmony between the wine, the blue, the honey, and because we are keeping it real, what I'm not getting is vomit. And you're like, what? And this is because
so I'm not eating now.
No, but when I match cheese and wine, you know it's a match because there's like this amazing
complete
mouthfeel. It just works.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there are other times when it really doesn't work, and I call it spewy. And it's just gross.
And this isn't spewy.
It is just amazing because we matched these a very long night ago. and now that I'm rehaving them, it's like, no, we did the right thing. We made the right call because I wouldn't have picked the Cab Sav with the blue.
It's an entire mouthfeel, I've got to say. It strips your mouth and then, like you've said it before, it coats it.
Yeah, strip coat. It's like painting a freshly done wall. This is a regional pairing.
Yep.
Why?
So this is in France. A Cabernet is usually a Bordeaux blend, so it's put with Merlot.
So can I just say France, map of France, Bordeaux is here.
Around the water, so it's actually Bordeaux is edge of water.
Okay, so we've got France, Bordeaux is here.
And now I'm correct in assuming that blue cheese is somewhere around there.
Blue cheese, so the most famous French blue cheese is Roquefort.
Yep.
It's made right at the bottom as well. So Bordeaux's there and we've got the blue there. And the really cool thing about French is that the wine was made all in the specific regions of where those grapes were grown. And then the French cheesemakers came along and said, I'm going to make a cheese that matches the wine of my region. And it's amazing that Bordeaux or Cab Sauv has been matched to Blue over in France. And we just happened to pick it one very long night. And it worked because of the whole regional pairing.
So this is an Adelaide Hills rendition of France.
An Adelaide Hills regional pairing.
So Sheree, I can't help but notice usually blue cheese is a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Why has it got that beautiful yellow gold tinge?
Yes, it's because we decided that we were going to pay homage to an actually very famous English cheese called Shropshire. A Shropshire.
What?
A Shropshire blue. I channeled my inner English
Quite
girl.
twang to that one.
And so it's made with added cream. Okay. And this colour is called annatto, and it was actually introduced into cheese making years ago by the Dutch spice traders, because the Dutch are also amazing cheese makers. They make, I think, the most cheese in the world, and use this spice, essentially, or seed, to add colour. But it actually doesn't add flavour. And now it's become very, very accepted and traditional in a handful of cheeses. And the Shropshire Blue is one of them. And we paid homage to it in our Mawson Blue.
And you've paid homage perfectly.
Great. When you open a bottle of wine, particularly red, how many days have you got? If you can't drink it in one sitting.
Twist my arm.
How many days have you got?
So I'd say with the red wine, if you store it in a dark, dry place.
Yes.
About 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
Otherwise, it starts oxidising.
Oh.
And that's where the taste becomes a bit vinegary.
Okay. So oxidising.
Yes.
That is the same as when you have got fruit sitting in your fruit bowl and it starts going rotten. I learnt that was called oxidising. And so that is the fruit in here once it's open, because the oxygen is getting to it. It's making it, not rotten, it's going a bit stale. Yeah. And it's oxidising. And then in the same way, I learnt that our skin and our organs, as we age, are oxidising and going, for want of a better word, rotten. Yeah. And that's why the beauty industry tries to sell us antioxidants.
Absolutely. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry at that. So this is our natural antioxidant.
So the wine is an antioxidant. Yep. That's right. So that's why red wine is so healthy. Yep. Great for the skin.
In inverted commas.
Yeah. And so if a red wine has antioxidants for the skin, in the same way, cheese has butterfat to help moisturise the skin.
So this is this
very
pairing
healthy.
Is making us look better.
Yeah. TJ's fun fact.
Okay, TJ's fun fact. Sheree, did you know the most expensive Cabernet Sauvignon was for $500,000?
I think I'd rather buy a Lamborghini. Wow. So here's to Cab Sauv, Chain of Ponds, Udder Delights Mawson Blue. Love the pair. So here's to Demystifying cheese and wine.
One bottle at a time.
Cheese.
Cheese.